Had a Jim Carrey moment.
Do not go in there. Woo! Alright, welcome back, folks. We are now moving on to the NFC West. And before we get started on the Seahawks, I'm just going to let you know, if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm a Seahawk hater. I hate on them Seahawks. But it's not because of the Seahawks themselves. I don't have a problem with the team or really any of the players on the team. I don't even have a problem with trash talking Richard Sherman. What I do have a problem with is them having flaws and everybody treating them like they're fucking Cinderella. You know, the most perfect thing they've ever seen in football, and they're already anointing them Super Bowl champions this year, saying, oh, they should have got the championship like the past 3 years in a row. They should be going for 3-time champions. And these aren't even fans of the Seahawks. I can understand if these people were actually fans, but no. I mean, this is like Patriot fans saying, yeah, Seahawks best ever in the NFL. As in the last segment, stop your Seahawk dick riding. That's what makes me a hater. As soon as people stop dick riding the Seahawks, you won't hear me say anything negative outside of like an actual football move they do that's negative. You won't hear me say jack shit about the Seahawks. But as long as there's dick riding, I'm going to be there to hate. Anyways, moving on. Are they the best team, on paper, anyway, in that division?
In that division?
In that division. Obviously, they're better than the 49ers on paper. But are they better than the Cardinals and the Rams?
Yeah, first I want to say defensively, yes. You start looking on paper at the Rams. That is a sick, scary defense.
Especially if they add some talent at cornerback. Bang! I mean, thanks for nothing.
I mean, I don't know. You start going down. You have to analyze a lot there. I mean, how are the Cardinals going to look at quarterback coming back this year?
Right.
I mean, like we've already talked about in previous episodes. Russell Wilson is not an elite quarterback.
No. But
in that division,
he's the safest, most sound quarterback. Yeah, because Nick Foles, you don't know. I mean, you don't know what the hell he's going to do in that division. Kaepernick, no. Carson Palmer, is he going to stay healthy?
Wilson can throw the ball better than Kaepernick. Sure, Kaepernick's a running quarterback, but also Russell Wilson is.
Yeah. Difference being Russell is pass first, run second. Kaepernick is still, he's trying to get out of it, you know, to his credit, but he's still a run first quarterback.
So I guess the biggest question is, how's Carson Palmer going to
look? Yeah. How's his health gonna look?
Yeah.
Alright, so up in the air?
Yeah.
Alright, up in the air. How does their defense rank this year? How do you think their defense is gonna predict or pan out?
I don't know if... Do you put them in a top... Do I rank them in a top 5 this year or top 10? Because they're still going to be a strong defense, don't get me wrong.
Word.
But they continue to lose key pieces.
As you see every time a team wins the Super Bowl, they start getting dismantled. Yep. And it's either the very next season they lose a giant chunk of their roster, kind of like the Patriots have this year. They've lost both their running backs. They lost both starting cornerbacks. They lost their defensive tackle. So they've lost a lot of key pieces. Or is it systematically? Like what happened to the Seahawks? Like what happened to us? We lose our starting center. We lose 2 wide receivers. We lose a tight end. Granted, injury, but still. We lose 2 cornerbacks. I mean, all these people that were on that team, like, they're slowly just jetting out. Why? Because you were on a Super Bowl winning team. And that usually means you have great talent around you to make you look better. So you get paid them big bucks, a la Greg Jennings. So,
Here's a side rant of mine about the NFL. Pisses me off that you see that happen. Team wins the Super Bowl, and then you lose all these key pieces because they can go get paid the big money. Come on. Your average NFL player makes more in 1 year
Than a lot of people.
Make in a lifetime. If you are really that much of a competitor, why would you not just take what's offered for you? Yeah. Or you know what? I might not like Tom Brady.
But you can respect him.
I can respect that he'll take less money to try and keep people on his team. That's a competitor. That's somebody who wants to win.
Yep.
It's as we keep saying, like you made the point earlier, you can't bring one superstar in there and win games, win Super Bowls. It's a team sport. Give up some money. You got plenty.
Well, I can understand why they do it. If I was in the same situation, I would go with the best chance to win. If I've already been in the league, if I've already had one contract, and I'm looking at, if I was Darrelle Revis, I'd go with the best chance to win. I've already made my money. But as far as the young guns, I can see why they do it. The average NFL career is only 3 years. Not only that, but you never know when your career is going to be over. Marcus Lattimore's career was over before it ever began. He had those 2 gruesome knee injuries. He tried to come to the NFL. He ended up retiring this year. He said, I can't do it. I can't run without pain. I can't do it. So, I mean, his career's over. And it never began. Todd Gurley, looks extremely promising. And sure, he could come back from this ACL perfectly fine. But then what happens if, just like in college, he comes off suspension, what was it, like 4 games later, boom, ACL's gone? All right, what if he comes in, snaps his neck, he doesn't die or anything. I'm just saying, in worst case scenario, he snaps his neck, and boom, career's over. Like, he has one of those neck injuries that Jermichael Finley or, what was our safety? Yeah. The guy that we had to replace.
Number 36, right?
Yeah, Nick Collins.
Nick Collins.
Yeah, he could have one of those injuries that Nick Collins or Jermichael Finley had. And then boom, his career is over.
I understand what you're saying from a young player standpoint, but I'm talking
Darrelle Revis, basically.
Well, anybody. I mean,
or Ndamukong Suh, somebody who's already made their rookie contract.
As a Packer fan, I love Aaron Rodgers, but I would respect him loads more if he didn't take this huge contract.
Mm-hmm.
Keep those key pieces there.
Right.
You know you're going to be a Packer for a long time. You want to win Super Bowls, dude. You're made. You got it made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unfortunately, that mentality is not instilled in a lot of people, like, coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these NFL players, they come from poorer backgrounds and things like that. Trent Richardson,
No, I can understand that. But
they come up with this mindset of, holy shit, I got a chance at money. I need to grab as much as I can. And then they grab and grab and grab and grab until there's nothing left to grab.
So. Come on, give me 1 year of a rookie contract worth of money. That'd be good for life.
I know, right? Reinvest it. Let that money make money for you. So, long story short, top 10.
I'd say top 10.
All right.
I don't know if I can put them in top 5, but you never know. I mean, it's still a great defense.
Yeah. All right. So,
now, something I've been reading, especially with Wilson about to get paid big money.
Monster money.
You start looking at beyond this season,
they're going to start.
You aren't going to see Brandon Mebane there anymore.
Michael Bennett.
Those are huge pieces to lose. You start losing those pieces, don't look for top 10.
No.
Unless you get some stud in the draft.
Yeah. So, speaking of, who should they draft? They don't have a first round pick. They traded it away.
I'd say start getting some receivers in
there. It is a deep draft for receivers. Yeah, that's a great point. Also, I would look to start getting some defensive line. Perhaps replace Michael Bennett with Michael Bennett out of Ohio State. Possibility. Yeah, I'd start looking for that. All right, so we're going to hop on to the 49ers because time is a ticket. All right. Oh, wait, one more thing. When does Marshawn hang it up? Because he was thinking about hanging it up this year, but it took a big money contract to come back. So, when do you think he finally calls it quits?
I don't know. I mean, if he's looking for the money and they don't want to pay him in the next couple of years, he'd probably go. But I feel like he's still got plenty of gas in the tank.
Oh yeah, he's got plenty of gas.
He
But
still can run the ball. Just obviously, if his play starts going down, he's not gonna be able to leave Seattle and go get that big money.
no. Oh, so, see,
Time at 4 seconds.
based on what, based on the whole thing that happened this offseason with him contemplating retirement, they offered him that ginormous contract way early into it, and it took him like a month and a half to 2 months to finally decide, okay, I'm gonna take it. I just don't know if his heart's in it anymore. I mean, he's tired of the NFL finding him for not wanting to talk to the media. So, if his heart's not in it, man, he could be gone within 2 years. If his heart's not in it, he's just gonna say, man, why the hell am I getting my body beat up for these assholes? I got money, fuck them. He's gonna up and leave. Alright, so, cookies. So,
That's my cue.
yeah. Give it just a second, folks. Got to get these cookies.
Overtime.
Thanks. Anyways, so now we're gonna move on to the 49ers and wait for Joe to get back on camera here, dealing with these cookies. Cookie monster. Nom, nom, nom. Probably gonna get sued for that too. Alright. So, first question. With the 49ers,
Listen.
are they still a team? Do they still count as a team in the NFL? The systematic dismantling that has occurred this offseason.
How does that new head coach feel?
Jim Tomsula, yeah. I think his name's Jim Tom. Is it Jim Tomsula? Jim with Jim. Replace Jim with Jim. That's obviously a joke. I mean, yes, they're still an established team in the NFL, but they ain't gonna be the same 49ers.
They hurting.
Yeah, they're hurting. They're definitely hurting. All right, can was it Carlos Hyde?
Carlos Hyde.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can Carlos Hyde take the Gore torch? Can he become what Frank Gore was for that franchise? Because he's gonna have to. Because Colin Kaepernick is not the answer at quarterback.
He's got that same build, same running style.
He's gonna have to be the offense for that team for about 9 years, or until they get a quarterback in there. I hope so. He showed some talent, some moxie. Can Aldon Smith stay out of trouble?
That's a good question.
I mean,
That's a very good question.
How immature do you have to be to call in a fucking bomb threat at an airport?
And then get out of it.
I mean, really? You're an NFL player making millions and millions, and you think it's a good idea to call in a fake bomb threat? That just doesn't sit too well for me on the IQ standard. Wow, I'm not going to spend much time on the 49ers. I'm just nailing right through these. Alright, so this is the golden question for the 49ers, and this is probably the one we'll spend the most time on. As everybody else we've asked, who do they draft? Well, it's more of What do they not need to draft?
Well, they have to draft on the defensive side of the ball. They at least have pieces in place
You lost.
on the offensive side of the ball. You
lost
lost Frank Gore.
No, you lost something worse than that. You lost Mike Iupati,
True.
former Pro Bowl guard.
But they lost a lot more on the defensive side of the ball.
They did. I don't know if Justin Smith has officially retired, but Ray McDonald's gone.
Maybe that's why Chris
Asher-
Borland just said, I'm jumping ship, man. I can't take anymore.
He said, I made my $1 million for 1 year. I'm gone. Chris Borland retires. Patrick Willis retires. Navarro Bowman, we don't even know if he's going to be the same when he comes back. Chris Culliver's gone. It is an extremely depleted team, most definitely. It's right now looking at the drafts they have on NFL.com. It's split down the middle. You got 2 guys going offensive line and 2 guys going defensive line. Both picking Eric Armstead out of Oregon. Don't know if I make that pick, but I don't know. It depends on who's there. It depends on who's there for me, because if Danny Shelton's there, take him all day long. But at pick number 15, Eric Armstead, I don't know. From what I saw the guy play, I didn't watch a lot of Oregon games, but from what I saw, I didn't really like. They always talked him up to be a big impact player before the game, and then he just kind of disappeared on tape in the few games that I watched. Granted, very selective. Size, very selective sample size, but still. TJ Clemmings was the name of that offensive lineman out of Pittsburgh earlier that I was talking about. But you got people like Eddie Goldman, you got Malcolm Brown, so there are a couple of people. Now, granted, those people are projected to go later, but maybe they trade down with somebody. Somebody wants Todd Gurley or something, or wants to make sure they get Melvin Gordon, and maybe they trade down and get one of those guys. Or if Danny Shelton's there, hop all over him. Otherwise, I'd say probably go offensive line. All right. We are going to cut it there and pick back up with the Cardinals and Rams, and we will call it a day on Attack of the Back. Joe, stop picking your nose.